Hey there, hi there, ho there. Welcome to Unit 10. Let's talk about water, specifically surface water in this unit. So we're going to take the next few weeks to pretty much mainly discuss water. Now, when people think of geology, they don't typically think of water. They think of rocks, and volcanoes, those sorts of things. Well, it turns out water has a really big part to play in geology. So we're going to spend pretty much the last portion of the semester discussing water, how it interacts with the solid earth, and how water influences geology. Another reason we might not think much about water in geology, especially around Arizona, is we typically don't see much water around here. It rains every once in a while. Maybe we'll go to a lake, but especially around the Phoenix area, you don't see too many rivers flowing anymore. There's some, but it's quite interesting. Arizona actually does have a decent amount of surface water. Excuse me. Phoenix is actually located right here. Now, some of these rivers don't flow all the time, only with heavy rains. A lot of these rivers are dammed up, so they don't flow in certain places. But there is water. Historically, the Phoenix area was settled by native peoples to this area because there was a lot of water. It was good farming because there was a lot of water. The Salt River, the Gila River, the Agua Fria River, the Verde River. So this area was very rich in water, and that water was able to be utilized. Now, we use a little too much. Rivers don't typically flow, but in general, this is a good indicating surface map indicating the rivers, some surface water in Arizona, and some of the lakes. So let's get into it and talk about the hydrologic cycle, also known as the water cycle. We spent the first third of the semester in the tectonic cycle, which was driven by Earth's internal heat. We spent the second third of the semester talking about the rock cycle, which is driven by the Earth's internal heat as well as solar energy. We're going to spend pretty much the last third of the semester talking about the hydrologic or water cycle, which is driven solely by solar energy. You can see the hydrologic cycle does intersect with the rock cycle, so it does play a big part in geology. So hydrology is the scientific study of water. So if you're a hydrologist, you study water. The hydrologic cycle itself describes the movement of water throughout Earth, not only on the surface, but below ground, as well as into the atmosphere. And again, the hydrologic cycle is driven primarily by the energy from the sun. Before we venture too far, let me go ahead and give you the first part of the super secret code. It is the number 8. The number 8. You got that? Number 8. So this is an image of the water cycle. I'm not going to spend too much time here. You probably learned about it in elementary school, middle school, high school, whatever. But just know we have water evaporating from the oceans, from the solar energy. So the sun's rays hitting it, heating it up, evaporating some of the surface water of the ocean. That gaseous water rises into the atmosphere where it cools, it condenses, forms precipitation, falls back down to Earth either as rain, hail, snow. Precipitation is any water falling from the sky, rain, hail, snow, etc. As that precipitation hits the Earth, it can pool up in little lakes and ponds and to evaporate again to start that cycle. Or sometimes water can evaporate directly from plants. That's called transpiration. However, some of that water will infiltrate into the ground. So now we are talking about some groundwater, which is a different unit. Other amounts of that water will run off back directly to the ocean, and that's the cycle starting all over again. Here is some kind of definitions of some of those processes. But again, nothing too much to concern yourself about with the terms. This is probably something you've heard and learned a few times. No need to waste our time here. So we'll go ahead and take a pause here. When we'll come back, we'll talk about Earth's water. See you back here in just a second.